Built to Last: Successful Habits of Visionary Companies, by Jim Collins and Jerry I. Porras. Introduction. What makes a company not only succeed but endure? In their legendary business book, Built to Last, authors Jim Collins and Jerry I. Porras uncover the habits, mindsets, and practices of visionary companies. Those rare organizations that have thrived across decades, outlasting their competitors and continuously adapting to the changing world. The book is the result of a 6-year research project at Stanford University, where the authors studied 18 iconic companies like 3M, Hewlett-Packard, and Procter & Gamble and compared them to rivals in their industries. What they found was surprising. It wasn't just great leadership or perfect timing that made a company great. It was a powerful combination of enduring core values and an unrelenting drive for progress. For Indian readers, entrepreneurs, and business leaders, this book is an invaluable guide. The insights are timeless and universal. Whether you're launching a startup in Bengaluru or managing a century-old family business in Mumbai, Built to Last doesn't just tell you what to do. It shows you how great companies think and behave. Chapter 1. The Extraordinary Companies. What truly sets visionary companies apart from merely successful ones? Visionary companies are premier institutions in their industries, widely admired by their peers and having a long track record of making a significant impact on the world around them. This chapter lays the foundation for the entire book. The authors define what makes a visionary company. Not just success in terms of profit, but sustained excellence over long periods of time. These companies are admired by competitors, respected by customers, and built to outlast even their founders. Collins and Porras explain that visionary companies outperform the market by a factor of 15 over decades. These organizations are proactive, principle-driven, and focused on long-term goals, not just quarterly profits. Visionary companies often start with the same resources as their competitors but grow bigger and last longer. This is not because of charismatic leadership or lucky timing. It's because of purpose, core ideology, and relentless innovation. The idea is simple but powerful. Don't aim to just succeed, aim to endure. Think of Tata Group, a visionary Indian company with over 150 years of history. From steel to software, it has maintained core values like trust and nation building while diversifying and innovating across industries. Its enduring legacy proves it's not just about business, it's about vision. Chapter 2. Clock Building, Not Time Telling. Is your organization built to thrive without you? Build a company that can prosper beyond the presence of any single leader. The authors introduce a powerful metaphor: clock building versus time telling. Visionary companies are like clock builders. They create systems, cultures, and processes that continue working long after the founder is gone. In contrast, time tellers may know the time or have a great idea, but they don't build anything that lasts. Great companies don't depend on one genius or one product. Instead, they create an environment where innovation, discipline, and leadership can flourish at every level. This is about institutionalizing greatness, not centralizing it in one person. Long-term thinking and infrastructure development are key. Infosys, founded by N.R. Narayana Murthy and others, is a brilliant example. Murthy didn't just build a tech company. He built a culture of corporate governance, transparency, and ethics. Even after he stepped down, Infosys continued to grow because he was a clock builder. Chapter 3. More than profits. Can a company be driven by purpose and still be profitable? Profitability is a necessary condition for existence and a means to more important ends, but it is not the end in itself. Visionary companies focus on more than just the bottom line. They have a core ideology, a mix of core values and a core purpose that drives everything. These companies don't chase money, they chase a mission. Ironically, by focusing on deeper purposes, they often end up being more profitable. Their employees feel more engaged, customers feel more connected, and stakeholders stay loyal. Profit is treated like oxygen, essential to live, but not the purpose of life. Amul is a great example. Born out of the White Revolution, Amul's core mission was to empower Indian dairy farmers. Even today, its purpose goes beyond. Chapter 4. Preserve the core, stimulate progress. How do you balance timeless values with the need to innovate? Visionary companies distinguish their timeless core values and purpose from operating practices and business strategies. The secret to long-term success lies in mastering a paradox, preserving the core while stimulating progress. Visionary companies maintain a consistent core ideology, beliefs, values, and purpose that never change, even as they constantly adapt and evolve everything else. These organizations innovate relentlessly but never compromise on what they stand for. The authors emphasize that change for the sake of change is not visionary. Instead, companies must identify what should never change and what must constantly evolve. This duality ensures they stay relevant without losing their soul. Wipro started as a vegetable oil company and evolved into an IT giant. Yet, under the leadership of Azim Premji, Wipro has always emphasized integrity, ethics, and social responsibility, its core values, even as its business transformed entirely. Chapter 5. Big, Hairy, Audacious Goals, Bhags. Are your goals bold enough to inspire extraordinary effort? A Bhag engages people. It reaches out and grabs them in the gut. Visionary companies don't just set goals, they set Bhags, big, hairy, audacious goals. These are bold, clear, and compelling objectives that push organizations out of their comfort zones and ignite passion and commitment. Bhags are not vague visions. They are concrete and measurable, yet so ambitious they seem almost impossible at first. The point of Bhags is to stimulate progress and unleash the energy of the entire organization. Bhags work best when aligned with a company's core values and purpose. ISRO's Chandrayaan missions are perfect Bhags. Reaching the moon or Mars with limited budgets and indigenous technology inspired not only ISRO but the entire nation, proving how bold goals can drive excellence and innovation. Chapter 6. Cult-like cultures. Does your organization's culture drive deep loyalty and performance? Visionary companies create cult-like cultures around their core ideologies. Visionary companies build cultures so strong and clear that they feel almost cult-like to outsiders. These cultures create a shared sense of identity, purpose, and belonging. People who thrive in them feel a deep emotional connection, while those who don't fit are quickly weeded out. This doesn't mean conformity for conformity's sake. Instead, it means aligning around a powerful core ideology. The stronger the culture, the more empowered people are to take initiative, innovate, and sustain the company's mission. The Art of Living Foundation, though not a company in the traditional sense, offers a prime example of a strong, value-driven culture. Employees, volunteers, and followers align deeply with its mission of spiritual upliftment, much like employees of visionary companies align with their core ideology. Chapter 7. Try a lot of stuff and keep what works. Are you experimenting enough to discover what drives real success? Visionary companies make some of their best moves by experimentation, trial and error, opportunism, and, quite literally, accident. Rather than betting everything on one grand strategy, visionary companies embrace continuous experimentation. They try many things and keep what works. Failures are not stigmatized. They are seen as essential parts of the learning process. This evolutionary approach means innovation is embedded in the culture. Employees are encouraged to act, test ideas, and adapt quickly. Over time, small wins accumulate and drive big success. It's about progress through iteration, not perfection. Flipkart initially started with selling books, then diversified into electronics, fashion, and eventually launched its own supply chain and payment systems. Their success came not from a rigid master plan, but from adapting rapidly to market feedback and consumer needs. Chapter 6. Cult-like cultures. Does your organization's culture drive deep loyalty and performance? Visionary companies create cult-like cultures around their core ideologies. Visionary companies build cultures so strong and clear that they feel almost cult-like to outsiders. These cultures create a shared sense of identity, purpose, and belonging. People who thrive in them feel a deep emotional connection, while those who don't fit are quickly weeded out. This doesn't mean conformity for conformity's sake. Instead, it means aligning around a powerful core ideology. The stronger the culture, the more empowered people are to take initiative, innovate, and sustain the company's mission. The Art of Living Foundation, though not a company in the traditional sense, offers a prime example of a strong, value-driven culture. Employees, volunteers, and followers align deeply with its mission of spiritual upliftment, much like employees of visionary companies align with their core ideology. Chapter 7. Try a lot of stuff and keep what works. Are you experimenting enough to discover what drives real success? Visionary companies make some of their best moves by experimentation, trial and error, opportunism, and, quite literally, accident. Rather than betting everything on one grand strategy, visionary companies embrace continuous experimentation. They try many things and keep what works. Failures are not stigmatized. They are seen as essential parts of the learning process. This evolutionary approach means innovation is embedded in the culture. Employees are encouraged to act, test ideas, and adapt quickly. Over time, small wins accumulate and drive big success. It's about progress through iteration, not perfection. Flipkart initially started with selling books, then diversified into electronics, fashion, and eventually launched its own supply chain and payment systems. Their success came not from a rigid master plan, but from adapting rapidly to market feedback and consumer needs. Chapter 8. Homegrown Management. Are you building leaders from within your organization? Visionary companies develop and promote their own managerial talent. Instead of relying heavily on external hires for top leadership roles, visionary companies invest in grooming their own people. This internal development preserves the company's core values, culture, and long-term continuity. It also boosts employee morale and retention by showing a clear growth path. These companies create structured systems for mentorship, training, and promoting from within. They think in decades, not quarters, when it comes to leadership development. Tata Group has a strong tradition of nurturing talent from within. Many senior leaders have risen through the ranks, maintaining continuity in vision and values while adapting to new challenges. Chapter 9. Good enough never is. Is your company satisfied with being merely good, or constantly striving to be great? Visionary companies pursue big, hairy, audacious goals, bhags, and never settle for good enough. Visionary companies have a relentless drive for improvement. They embed the mindset that no matter how good things are, there's always room to improve. This continuous push prevents complacency and keeps innovation alive. These companies don't wait for external threats to initiate change. They proactively challenge their own processes, systems, and outcomes, even when they're performing well. Mediocrity is not tolerated. Greatness is the expectation. Infosys has consistently challenged itself to set new industry standards in quality, transparency, and global presence, never resting on past successes. Chapter 10. The End of the Beginning. How do visionary companies sustain momentum beyond initial success? The journey to greatness is ongoing. It is never done. Visionary companies understand that achieving initial success is just the start. The real challenge is to sustain that success over decades and generations. They treat every milestone not as an endpoint but as a stepping stone. There's a continuous cycle of learning, renewing, and improving. These companies avoid complacency by always asking, "What's next?" and fostering a culture of resilience and renewal. Leadership transitions, market changes, and innovations are seen as opportunities rather than threats. This chapter emphasizes perseverance and the mindset of long-term stewardship. Mahindra Group has evolved from automotive manufacturing into diverse sectors like IT, agribusiness, and aerospace, continually reinventing itself without losing its core values. Chapter 11. Conclusion. Built to last. What fundamental principles can any organization adopt to become visionary? Visionary companies combine enduring values with a relentless drive for progress. The concluding chapter wraps up the lessons learned throughout the book. It reiterates the importance of a strong core ideology coupled with ambitious goals and a culture that embraces innovation and continuous improvement. Building a company that lasts requires discipline, patience, and a clear sense of purpose. The authors encourage readers and leaders to adopt these principles to create organizations that not only succeed but inspire and endure. The book ends with a call to action to think beyond the short term and build something meaningful for generations to come. Reliance Industries, starting as a textiles company, transformed itself into a diversified conglomerate while sticking to its values of innovation, customer focus, and social responsibility. Conclusion. This is more than just a business book. It's a timeless blueprint for creating organizations that endure beyond their founders and outlast competitors. Through rigorous research and compelling examples, the authors show that visionary companies are built on a foundation of strong core values, clear purpose, and a relentless drive for progress. These companies balance preserving their fundamental principles with embracing innovation and change, setting audacious goals, and cultivating a culture that empowers employees to experiment and grow. For business leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals in India and around the world, Built to Last offers invaluable lessons on how to think long-term, build resilient cultures, and lead with vision. It challenges the common notion that success is about quick wins or short-term gains. Instead, it's about creating something meaningful and enduring that can thrive for generations. In a rapidly changing business environment, the principles of Built to Last remain as relevant today as ever. Adopting these ideas can transform not only companies but also the leaders who guide them and the communities they serve.